So let's say that you're committed to blogging for your business and utilizing good SEO tactics to start ranking well in organic search. So your next question might be, of all the different ways I can approach blogging, what's the best method to make sure I'm getting the biggest bang for that blogging and SEO buck? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So first, I want to kind of talk about, there's a difference. This is very, very general, broad separation between blogging and trying to rank well for trending topics because you want to be first on the scene, versus blogging with the intention of getting long-term traffic, because they really are two different buckets of content and two completely different ways to approach your blogging. So, since I deal primarily with small business owners and independent professionals, that long-term approach is usually, that makes the best sense, instead of trying to chase those hot topics and try to pump out new content, new blog posts that meet up with those, new trending topics, and then hoping that you get picked up by other people and get linked to in order to help, that Google knows you're first on the scene talking about that topic, and in hopes that you can rank well for the short term and get those links because other people will link to you when you're first on the scene talking about something. So we're not talking about that short-term chasing the trending topic approach to ranking well. We're going to talk about the long-term approach of creating more evergreen content. Evergreen, like evergreen trees, they don't drop their leaves. They look the same all year long. So we're talking about that evergreen type of content. So the first of the 3 tips that I have to share about this is, sort of generally speaking, the types of things you want to write about. So if you want to approach your blogging and get those long-term payoffs from SEO for those evergreen reasons, that means it has to be something that's relevant to today, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, or more. Now, of course, not everything is going to be 100% up to date and correct if it's 3 years down the road. But, having that mindset and that intention that that's why you're choosing what it is that you're choosing to talk about, that will go a long way in helping you decide what topics to choose. So in my world, it's a lot of how to do something, or say like X number of tips to do something, or X things to consider when you're trying to do this, or X number of things to do before you launch. Those kinds of things, people like numbers, and to see like, oh, this is 3 ways that are going to help me solve my problem. People also want to know that you can help them by solving their problem or showing them how to do something that they're trying to figure out or they're trying to understand more. If you think about the things that people Google, they Google those questions, the what's and the hows and the whens and the whys of something. So if you have topics that are relevant to your industry that, meet that criteria, those are really great places to start. So after that, the second tip would be to plan series. Now I say that, and I am not a planner, and I'm going to talk more about the way that I approach blogging and kind of my general tip for everybody, because I don't want people to be getting overwhelmed. When you say series, it doesn't have to be formal. It's not like you have to actually put out there like, hey, I'm developing a 5-part series where I'm talking about this and this and this and this, and here's part 1 and part 2. It could be something as simple as, in your mind, this is a topic that you can get 3 or 4 or 5 blog posts out of. So your first blog post would be something more introductory. Your second blog post will kind of get into the meat and potatoes of it. And then maybe your third and fourth blog post would be like sort of side topics that tie into that main topic, that topic number 2. So for example, when I started writing my blog post on the Google My Business dashboard and all that you can do with Google My Business, the first blog post was about claiming your listing and verifying the listing, and why you want to have a Google My Business listing. Then the second post was all about all the things you can do with that profile and how to optimize that profile. And then the third post were how to create and why to use Google Posts, which are one of the big features of your Google My Business listing. So that hopefully helps it seem a little bit less daunting when I say like, oh, you should just plan series. So it can just be simply something that you can get a few different blog posts out of one topic. And really with blogging, it's good to link back to other blog posts or other pages on your website. Also, people don't want to be reading 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 word articles. So if you've sort of discussed the basics or the meat and potatoes of something previously, you can link to that so you don't have to give all of that background information in your new blog post topic. So like I said, it's a series, but it's just more like if it's something that can be broken into multiple topics, that's a great way to have, a few different blog posts that all tie into one. And then you are interlinking in between those blog posts, which are also helpful for the reader and for SEO reasons. The third thing would be, if you really want to maximize your long-term blogging and SEO, is to go back and update some of your blog posts. Now, once you've been blogging for a while, like I have been, you'd say, oh, no, I'm not going to be updating hundreds and hundreds of blog posts. And you're not going to want to update all of them. You're not going to need to update all of them. But if there's blog posts that get a ton of traffic, like right now I have a blog post that's getting over 4,200 visits in a 30-day period. So that's something that I'm going to kind of want to keep my eyes on. It could be something that is a blog post that you use as a resource for your clients. So if it's something that, like the process has changed or the screenshots need to be updated, if it is some kind of how-to, you're going to want to go back and update that. And if you keep that fresh, Google knows that you're updating those things. Obviously, you can always update the SEO too over time if you need to. But, there's a lot of benefits to those strong blog posts that have, historically done well for you to make sure that they keep doing well for you. And a lot of times, if they're the stuff that is really popular on Google, it's also the stuff that you can send to a client like, hey, I've explained this. I've shown how to do this. Here's the link. And then you can go ahead and send them the link. So those are the three sort of things to keep in mind when you're thinking about your blog post content as far as SEO goes. But lastly, and probably most importantly, because I'm not, even though I recommend that series and there's benefits to doing series, if you are trying to find the time to blog and you carve out time to blog on a weekly basis or every other week, however it is that you're going to do it, the most important thing is that you keep doing it. And so you don't want to develop roadblocks that prohibit you from keeping doing it. So for me, whatever it is that's top of mind, maybe I had a conversation with someone this week, maybe it's a question I keep getting over and over and over. It could be something that has changed or developed, like a new feature that has come out. If you have a topic to write on, just write on it. You don't have to worry, if it syncs up nicely with something else that you've done, or if it's cohesive with like the previous 2 or 3 articles that you've written. The most important thing is if you have something that's important to share and it's blog post worthy, you can write a few different paragraphs on it. Go ahead and write about it and don't overthink it, because a lot of times just to keep it moving and keep those blog posts publishing and keep having those links to share on social media, and to keep having that SEO benefit, it's just about like getting it done. So even if your blog post topics obviously are still within the realm of what makes sense for your business and your client type, that's fine. It's okay if they're kind of scattered as long as they're still in that wheelhouse. So that would be sort of my overall suggestion for blogging and SEO content. So if you have any questions, please leave those down in the comments below, and you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you.